Hello everyone, I am one of the authors of this paper, a student from Huazhong University of Science and Technology. Let me introduce our work accepted for AAAI, Infusing Definiteness into Randomness, Rethinking Composition Styles for Deep Image Matting. Deep image matting has been an active research area in computer vision, and prior works contribute a lot to this field. For example, they concentrate on global information or upsampling. However, they delve into the component inside the network, but seldom think outside the box. In this work, we think outside the network, that is data generation. Due to the limited alpha mattis, deep matting models often train with composited dataset. Then how to maximize the value of the limited foregrounds with alpha mattis? Therefore, we concentrate on the data generation flow and define the flow as composition style. The composition style describes the process of how to use foreground pool and background pool to generate a sample set. We only have limited foregrounds, but with infinite backgrounds. With the foreground pool and background pool, how can we generate training samples? Composition style can accomplish the process. It refers to a data generation flow on how to exploit limited foregrounds and random backgrounds to form a training dataset. We divide it into two steps: foreground selection and foreground-background composition. First, foreground selection refers to how to determine the foregrounds that constitute the samples. For example, if we need 12 samples, then we need 12 foregrounds. So how do we choose the 12 foregrounds? DIM style chooses to iterate through the foreground pool, while GCA style adds a choice of foreground combination. Foreground combination defines the process of combining two foregrounds to get a new foreground. However, the foreground combination operator it uses can be problematic, bringing artifacts into combined foreground. To address the artifacts in the combined foreground, we think the process, define the combination as a two-stage process. Then we propose RCF, reasonable combination of foregrounds. It can generate a clean combination. The second step is foreground-background composition. This step assigns random backgrounds for the selected foregrounds. Based on the matting equation, it composites the selected foregrounds with random backgrounds to generate samples. Then the samples will be included into the sample set, so that a sample set for training can be formed. However, previous composition styles suffer from certain weaknesses. First, they fail to model the relation between the combined and source foregrounds. Second, they fail to mine the treasure beneath the two source foregrounds. To address the first issue, we need to model the relation between the combined and the source foregrounds. We consider foreground combination as a reversible chemical reaction where the source foregrounds and the combined one can mutually assist the learning of foreground patterns of each. So we bind them into a triplet during the foreground selection. About the second issue, we need to mine the treasure beneath the two source foregrounds. We obtain an interesting observation that twin foreground can be generated when changing the orders of foreground combination. They differ in foreground appearance, but share the same alpha mat. The twin foreground is added into the triplet and form a quadruplet during the selection. We compare the proposed composition styles with other composition styles in this figure. The main difference lies in the foreground selection part. The sample set generated by our composition styles has a stronger relationship among samples. To make it easier, we analyze the difference from two aspects, qualitative and quantitative respectively. First, we classify the foregrounds into two types, useful and useless. Therefore, the residues are the useless foregrounds, because they can only help the foreground pattern learning of themselves. In contrast to the useless foregrounds, the useful foregrounds can help the learning of other foreground patterns. We argue that the occurrence frequency of a single foreground should relate to the combined foregrounds it relates to. We count the occurrence frequency of the foregrounds, only our proposed composition styles meet the positively correlated relationship. In addition, our quadruplet style composition can ensure that once a combined foreground appears, its twin foreground will appear simultaneously. We compare our composition style with the previous ones experimentally. To evaluate our composition styles, we conduct experiments on 4 baselines. The results on composition 1K show the effectiveness of our composition styles. The visualizations show that our composition styles are good at solving complex patterns. Benefited from the built link, our composition styles generate more detailed results. The results on real-world dataset demonstrate that, although we design the composition styles for composited data, it is also effective on real data. When we reduce the number of available foregrounds, our composition styles behave also consistent. We also compare our RCF with NCF. The results show that our RCF is more reasonable. In summary, we are the first to delve into the data generation flow. We propose a reasonable foreground combination operator, RCF. On the basis of foreground combination, we propose triplet-style composition and quadruplet-style composition. Being the first work that delves into the data generation flow in deep image matting, we believe our work points a good direction for addressing deep matting with improved composition styles.